36 female, so for 7 years. No kids. We valued our freedom. We had a happy life and a fun life. We worked hard at our jobs and enjoyed to the core on weekends. We met in university, dated all through grad school, and even managed to survive long distance when she got a job out of state. We used to joke that if we made it through that, we could make it through anything. Turns out we couldn't. Before getting on point, let me clarify that there have never been a single red flag. Absolutely none. There was no sudden changes in behavior, no guarding the phone or constant texting, no going out at odd hours or changing her wardrobe. She came home from work on time, no staying late at work or going out for partying, no secrecy, no unexplained late nights. She wasn't the type to guard her phone or change her habits overnight. We had our routines. Dinner together most nights, shows on the weekends, coffee runs on Sunday mornings. Predictable in the best way. That's why what happened still doesn't feel real. One of our close friends from university was visiting town. He's like a family member to us and a brother to me. I took a day off to pick him up from the airport and drove back home, planning to surprise Jen when she came back from work. It was just supposed to be a good day. However, when we pulled into the driveway, I noticed a car parked outside. Not ours, not one I recognized. I remember thinking maybe it was a neighbor's guest, but then I saw Jen's car was still in our garage. It was odd because I didn't remember her telling me that she was taking the day off, or that someone was visiting us. It's strange how instincts work. Despite no red flags, I had this cold feeling crawling up my spine that something wasn't right. I parked my car a few houses ahead and told my friend to stay quiet and follow me in. The house was locked. I used my key to unlock it. When we entered, it was too quiet at first. Then as we tiptoed our way towards the bedroom, I heard the sound of soft laughter. It was Jen's voice. The moment was too brief for me to remember it properly. I can't explain what happened next. When I reached the door to our bedroom, I heard a man's voice. There were giggles and moans, and I don't know what else. I pushed the door open. Everything blurred. A guy was riding on my wife. On my bed. In my house. They panicked. I pulled out my phone and started recording. My friend came up behind me, but when he saw the condition inside, he said he would wait outside. The fair partner jumped up in panic and tried to escape, got tangled in the bedsheet, tripped, and fell down. It would be a hilarious scene if my wife wasn't inside that sheet. She was scrambling to grab his clothes. They were scattered across the floor near the door. I picked it up and threw it into the hallway. They both were screaming and cursing in shock as, what the hell just happened? It was chaos. A fair partner came forward to charge at me. I yelled, "Don't you dare try that. Stay where you are if you don't want to end up in the hospital." He knew he couldn't fight me. He wasn't stupid to go against two. My friend was also outside, so he backed off. Jen was begging to let a fair partner go, and she could explain everything later. The guy was trying to cover himself, and me standing there trying to make sense of the scene I just walked into. I couldn't believe that she was still trying to protect him, begging me to let him go. I didn't say anything, neither touch anyone. I just said, "I want you both to tell me on record what's going on right now." Jen begged me to stop recording, said it was humiliating. I said, "I'm not letting anyone leave the room without knowing the complete truth." A fair partner was trying hard to cover his face, but there was no escape for him. Just kept repeating that it was their first time and she would tell me everything later. I said now and everything in detail. They confessed that it started with flirting in the office and then going to first base, holding hands in the elevator, hugging and kissing in the basement. Said they'd been thinking about it for months but hadn't done anything until today. I told her to cut the story short. Jen tried to talk over him, saying it wasn't what it looked like, that it was a mistake and that it wasn't supposed to happen. I snapped at her. I want the truth and now. I wasn't a fool to believe that it was their first time, and she brought him home. You do this only when you're confident. When a fair partner saw I wasn't bluffing, he gave in. Said they'd been seeing each other for 3 to 4 months. They met at hotels, and it was actually the first time they met at my house. He said he was sorry, that it just happened. I told him nothing just happens for months. His phone was on the table near the door. I grabbed it and asked for the passcode. He resisted it and begged not to blow it out. I threatened to go live on Facebook and show everyone in real time. He complied. I opened his contacts and found his wife's name and hit video call. She answered with a big smile, "Hey baby," thinking it was him. Then she saw me and panicked. She thought he was in trouble, maybe some accident. She asked, "Where is," a fair partner's name, "is he alright?" I said, "Hi, you don't know me, but I need to show you something." I switched to the back camera and gave her a view of my bedroom. Jen tried to hide inside the sheet, but too late. A fair partner had given up by then. He didn't even try to hide. Sat there with a defeated face. "So here's your husband riding on my wife in my bedroom. You need more information? Text me." I have their confession on record. She was in tears. I gave her my number. She noted it down and thanked me. asked me to flip the phone towards affair partner and told him, "Don't bother coming home. I'm going to ship your stuff to your parents," and hung up. Affair partner begged me to delete that recording. I told him to get out. He hesitated to try to give a last shot at snatching my phone to maybe delete the video. I said, "You move toward me and I'll break your bones. Better get your things and leave." I gave him the space to step out of the bedroom. When he was picking up his clothes from the hallway, my friend pounced and punched him. I went outside and nodded at my friend to let him go. Affair partner left with shame and humiliation. My friend gave me a look, one of those silent looks between friends that means I've got you. Then he quietly walked out too, saying he'd wait outside. Jen put her robe on and came out to the living room. She held my arms, crying, saying, "Please, listen to me. I can explain, please." I didn't respond. There was nothing left to talk about. I just picked up my phone, took my keys, and left with my friend. My friend and I checked into a hotel that night. Neither of us said much for hours. We ordered a bottle of whiskey, sat in silence, and started searching for divorce lawyers. By midnight, I had already filled out 2 online consultation forms. By 2 a.m., we were both drunk and passed out. That was 2 nights ago. He flew back home this morning, had meetings to attend. The silence in the room feels heavier now. Everything's blurry. I keep replaying the moment I opened that door, trying to convince myself it wasn't real. I haven't spoken to Jen since. She sent a few texts, mostly saying she's sorry, that it was a mistake, that she didn't mean for it to happen. I haven't replied. I can't even say what I'm feeling right now. I'm angry, furious, sad, heartbroken, all at the same time. I'm trying to escape all the emotions and focus only on what's next. Finding a place to move, finalizing the lawyer, cutting everything cleanly. Any tips on how to navigate this because it feels unbearable? "It's a mistake. It's not what it looks like." Girl, it literally looks exactly what it is. Honestly, the fact that she tried to protect him instead of you in that moment says everything you need to know. If there was ever any doubt about her character, that crushed it. She made a choice, flaunted it, and even after being caught, her instinct was to save herself, or him, over you. Update 1. It's been 5 days since that night. I finally went back to the house yesterday to grab some of my things. I intentionally went when she was around, didn't want to sneak around. She should see what it feels like to witness your world crashing in front of you. I went inside and found her lying on the couch, looking wrecked. Her hair was tied back, eyes were swollen, felt like something was eating her alive. She whispered my name like she wasn't sure I'd answer. I didn't. I just walked past her and started packing. She followed me around the room, talking the entire time, saying she's sorry, saying she made the biggest mistake of her life and didn't mean anything. The usual lines. But then she said something that made me stop for a second. She said, "You can't just throw away everything we had over one mistake. We've built a life together. Please, I deserve at least one chance to make it right." That word deserve hit wrong. I looked at her and asked, "You think you deserve a chance? You took every chance we had and threw it out on that bed. You don't deserve my forgiveness. You can ask for it, sure, but you can't demand it like it's owed to you." She started crying harder, begging me to stay and talk. She promised to do every dang thing to save the marriage. Said she'd quit her job, cut all contact with everyone at the workplace, go to therapy, whatever it takes. I told her, "You're watering a dead plant. Our marriage is rotten. There's nothing that can save it." I finished packing my clothes, grabbed a few personal things, and also our cat, which I had adopted 2 years ago, and since then, she has become an integral part of our lives. She tried to fight me over this, saying she deserved it too. I said she lost all rights to me and everything I have, including my cat. She begged and pleaded not to end this. Before leaving, I told her I'd be having the divorce papers served next week. She said she wouldn't sign them, that we can still make this work if I'd just talk to her once. I said, "You already had your talk, with him, in my bed." And that was it. I walked out. She tried to follow me to the driveway, but I got in the car and drove off. I thought I'd feel angry again, but I didn't. I just feel empty, like I'd finally used up every emotion I had for her. Right now, I'm staying with my brother until I find a place for myself. I've already finalized a small apartment, but it would take a week to get the access. I never thought I would have to crash at someone else's place at this age, but here I am. It's depressing, honestly. My friend is in constant touch with me, checking on me every day, but there are some voids which no one can fill. Using this space as a writing therapy. Maybe it'll help me get through it. Let's see. Update 2. I moved into a 1-bedroom apartment closer to my office. 2 weeks after I packed my things and left the house, I got a message from an unknown number. It was affair partner's wife. She wanted to talk. I stared at the screen for a while before replying. We agreed to talk later that evening. When I answered her call, she got straight to the point. She wanted the video. I told her I wasn't planning to post it anywhere or use it for revenge, but I had kept it for legal purposes. She said she didn't care about public shaming, just wanted proof for her divorce attorney. I asked if she was sure she wanted to see it. She said she was ready to take up anything that comes to her. So I sent her a short clip, not the whole thing, just enough to confirm what happened. She didn't say anything for a full minute. I heard her sob once, like she'd been holding it in for days. She thanked me for showing her the truth that night, said it was the worst and best thing that could have happened, and told me what happened between her and affair partner after I video called her. She immediately packed his clothes and belongings and kept them outside their apartment. She bolted the house from the inside so that he couldn't access it even with his keys. He knocked and begged her to talk to him, give him one chance to explain himself. She didn't budge, asked him to leave, and called up her lawyer. The cheating has broken her very badly. She had been suspecting this for a long time, even confronted him, but he gaslighted the situation, made her feel she was the problem, that she was an insecure person and had trust issues. He messed up with her so badly that she lost her confidence and even slid into depression. He always kept his phone clean so that she couldn't find anything if she snooped. She said it was her instincts telling her that something was off, but when she didn't get the evidence, she went into self-doubt. I asked how she felt there was something wrong when there was no red flags. She said it was one of those feelings. Though he never guarded his phone and never came late, it was a few things like this attitude in bed gave her the vibe that he was already getting it from somewhere. When she told me this, I actually envied her. I mean, she could sense that it was odd despite everything being perfect. But the same situation with me, no red flags, and I thought everything was fine. I couldn't suspect a thing in bed. We had regular sex just like always. Not more, not less. Do women have this special sense of picking up a vibe, or am I stupid? Anyway, she reached out because she wanted to inform me about something. She served a affair partner and the lawyer arranged for a meeting before proceeding. She agreed because she wanted her answers. He had confessed in that meeting that it was transactional. They both enjoyed it, but there were no emotions involved. They never chatted or talked on the phone. Instead, planned their meeting at work. They were in IT, so early logout was the norm there. They would finish their work later from home late in the evening. They would leave the office before time, check into a hotel for a couple of hours, did their dirty stuff, and come back to their partners as if nothing happened. They met especially on Fridays when most of the employees left early and no one suspected them at the office. The affair partner also claimed that Jen went after him, approached him for hookups. He showed a text from her where she had said, "No one has to know, only sex and nothing more, I promise, no strings attached." It shattered me. I never expected that my wife would approach other men for sex. It's a depressing feeling whenever I reflect on the days when I was clueless while she was effing around. There are just so many questions. Why did she do this? Wasn't I enough for her? I went silent. She probably understood what I was going through. She broke the silence and said, "Don't beat yourself up for this. Don't doubt yourself. You were good and enough for her, but some people just cannot live peacefully. They ruin everything for the thrill. It's her. It doesn't make you any less." My heart was so heavy that I could barely speak a word. She hung up saying, "I know it hurts, but maybe this blew up the way it did so we both could finally get out of something that wasn't meant for us. Sooner the better, right?" She was right. It's better to get out of a rotten relationship than to rot from the inside. It's depressing. I have enrolled in therapy because it's difficult for me to process it. I hate to admit it, but she did manage to blindside me. A fair partner's wife checks on me regularly. We don't talk much, just check-ins, and if there's any updates related to legal work, that's it. Update 3. It's been 2 months since she has been served, but it's not over yet. Her lawyer reached out asking if I'd consider mediation before finalizing. I said no, there's nothing to mediate when trust is gone. The legal drama has only escalated from there. Her attorney threatened counterclaims, pressed me on alienation of affection, emotional distress, citing that I leaked private videos, though none were public. My lawyer blocked every attempt, insisted that nothing beyond the legal boundaries would move. It was draining her, I could feel, but she was fighting for it. One evening, I got a message from a common friend. "Jen's collapsed at work." I didn't respond, didn't care. It happened so that a affair partner's wife was in touch with a affair partner's coworker on Instagram, and somehow she slipped the information about affair partner and Jen being involved in hookups and the divorce. Obviously, the juicy gossip became the talk of the town. Her coworker started giving her side glances. Legal hassle plus the workplace thing stressed her out, and she probably collapsed due to that. Around the same time, I got an email from her. "You shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have recorded. Shouldn't have shared that with his wife. I always loved you. Cared for you. Did you ever notice any red flags in me until you saw us? It's because it meant nothing, but you blew it out of proportion." I couldn't believe her audacity, the way she turned it around on me. She was the one who cheated, but she blamed me for overreacting. I deleted it and went for a walk. My therapist and my lawyer both had warned me against getting triggered by her talks, so I just calmed down and pretended never to read it. Later, I discovered she'd filed for a temporary restraining order against me, claiming harassment through texts and messages. My lawyer countered immediately. The courts denied it, reasoning that she initiated contact, threatened counts, etc. But the attempt stunned me. Even now, she was trying the game. The court ordered one last mediation hearing before the final divorce decree. Both sides had to appear. I sat across from her. She looked pale, more fragile than I'd ever seen her. She'd lost weight. Her eyes lacked fire, were filled with only desperation. Before the mediator started, she asked to speak privately, just the two of us. I agreed, more out of numbness than compassion. She said softly, "I don't expect forgiveness, but I've been seeing a counselor, and she told me that before I walk out that door, I need to apologize face to face. Not through text or lawyer, but to you and to Cleo, my cat. I can't expect closure, but I want to say it." I hesitated. My throat felt raw, but I remained silent. She goes again, "I know words mean nothing now, but I'll always regret betraying you." I said nothing. I let the silence do the work. Mediation didn't resolve much. Most terms were already settled. The divorce decree would likely be finalized in a week. She's scheduled to vacate the house entirely in 2 weeks. She's accepted that we'll sell it. Some mutual friends say she's leaving town. Meanwhile, a fair partner filed for full custody of his property, dog, shared accounts, and countered his divorce petition by denying spousal support on the grounds that his wife abandoned him. The irony was bitter. She already had the documents and evidence. His attorneys faced a rough ride. The divorce was finalized with him having to pay alimony in a diminished capacity. She was full custody of their shared property. She and I still touch base occasionally. She gives me updates on the legal moves. To clarify all the doubts I got on the comments on my last update, no, I'm not interested in her at all. I barely know her. Our conversation has only been about the legal matters and no emotional unloading, but I respect her strength. That's it. She lost every right to claim anything from you the moment she betrayed your trust like that. Let her collapse under her own chaos. You've already won the part that matters. You walked away before the lies and manipulation could eat you alive. She made her bed, now she gets to lie in it. Have you ever had a gut feeling something was off, only to discover it was way worse than you imagined? Share your stories with us below. And thank you for joining us today on Our Space. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Until next time.